Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome, welcome. My name is Jasmine Jones. I am the founder and CEO of Myya. And beyond that, I am a certified mastectomy fitter. I've done this for a while and I decided to create this series called Covered. Covered. What is covered? Well, today I'm going to tell you all the things that your insurance covers, and I'm going to walk you through the process of the next steps after your breast cancer surgery. What to do after you've been diagnosed with breast cancer. What do you expect, and what can you expect from your health insurance plan? So that's why I'm here today. I decided to create this webinar. It began as a webinar, actually. I hosted it as a live webinar earlier today, and we were working behind the scenes on the recording process. And I said, you know what? Let's just go ahead and record it a full session separately. So we did a live session. Now this is our recorded session, completely separate from that. So I'm so grateful to be here. My name is Jasmine. I'm the founder and CEO of Myya, and I hold this business very close to my heart. When I was about 9 years old, I remember watching my grandmother experience breast cancer, and I remember all the things that went along with her journey. And one of the main things that went along with it was finding the right bra and breast form. And I remember her shopping inside of a medical supply store for bras and breast forms. I remember her settling for some that didn't really fit her body. Her breast forms didn't match her skin tone. And I remember my family paying out of pocket for these costs. And they were expensive, right? So buying bras and breast forms are expensive and tedious after being diagnosed with breast cancer, and no one tells you what your health insurance actually covers. And back in those days, the coverage options were limited. But today, we have some options. So I'm going to walk you through what insurance typically covers. I have some caveats at the bottom. You'll be able to see them. And then if you have any questions, you can always send us at Myya an email. All right, care@myya.com. All right, here we go. So, welcome. Yes, you are in the right place. We were recording earlier. Right now, I'm just comfortable at home on a big lounge chair. Nothing is for sale in this webinar, but I will tell you about some of the services and products that we offer here at Myya, really because we're the only company, the first and only, that offers post-mastectomy bra fittings and prosthesis fittings via telehealth from the comfort of home, and we bill insurance on your behalf. So we take away the headache of dealing with the health insurance company, and we fit you from home and in pop-ups across the country and in partnerships with your hospitals, and we make it really fun and girly and like a lingerie experience. So that's what I'm all about. And also, this webinar is not just for survivors, it's also for previvors. So women who are considering a mastectomy or a lumpectomy, those who have had one, but maybe have a genetic disposition to breast cancer, those who are caregivers, nurses, physicians. This is for everyone who may know a breast cancer survivor. I'm glad that you're here to join us. So, who am I? Why am I here? Why am I pouring into you today? My name is Jasmine Jones. I'm the founder and CEO of Myya, but before that, I was the founder and CEO of Cherry Blossom Intimates, a brick and mortar store in Glenarden, Maryland that we kept for about 5 years. Most beautiful lingerie shop in the world. We won many design awards, actually, so I can very confidently say that. But beyond being a lingerie boutique, we were also a fully accredited medical facility within those four walls. And it was a really beautiful, dynamic time where we were able to serve breast cancer survivors in a gorgeous space alongside women who did not experience breast cancer. And we recognized that there's a huge white space for that existed in the market for breast cancer survivors who are looking for post-mastectomy bras and breast forms to be able to shop with dignity. And they were still dealing with, though, the pain of their health insurance plans, didn't know what was covered, how to be reimbursed. So we began accepting health insurance, and our company just grew from there. Then the pandemic hit, and a lot of our patients were immunocompromised and could not leave the house. And we recognized that we were able to help them via, at that time, Zoom. So I was in the boutique on Zoom calls, fitting patients from their home, delivering items to their doorstep, like knocking on the door and running away during COVID, and with my mask on and everything. And we served 90 patients that way. And then we recognized that that was a new model, that being able to serve women via telehealth was something that was completely new and unique. And our business has grown from there to be able to now serve women nationwide. I'm also a certified mastectomy fitter. I've been accredited with that for about 9 years now, which is amazing. I'm a fellow at Johns Hopkins University. I've been awarded with Best in AI and also Best in Community Development there at the Ward Infinity Fellowship, where I developed technology that advanced breast cancer care as it relates to and as it, I guess, envelops artificial intelligence into the mix. So my goal was to shorten the time between survivors being diagnosed, having their surgery, and then getting into their first insurance covered post mastectomy bra by integrating artificial intelligence. And that was my project during the time. That was what I focused on. And I actually came out of that with 3 innovations, but we can talk about that on another call. And then outside of that, I've been practicing alongside a breast surgeon for these past 9 years. And I've done thousands of mastectomy fittings personally, both in person and via telehealth. And tonight I am teaching you and telling you everything that I wish someone would have told my grandmother when she was going through this journey. So, first up, you need to know this year, 1998. Why was 1998 such an important year? Well, it was very important because a federal law was passed in 1998 that began requiring health plans to cover your life experiences after mastectomy. And not just mastectomy, but also lumpectomy and reconstructive surgery. So, yes, nearly 3 decades later, though, most survivors have never been told that the cost of their reconstruction, their post mastectomy bras, their prostheses are covered by their health insurance plans by federal law. And what I've noticed in my experiences is that no one is handing women a list of things that their insurance covers for this journey for the rest of their life. Unfortunately, nurse practitioners don't often know, physicians even don't often know, but tonight you will know. And tonight you'll get that list. All right? So here's what we'll cover. The law is on your side. In 1998, a federal law was passed, so you now have federal protections, guaranteeing that survivors will have benefits that many people have never heard of. Many products and benefits that you may already have and may already be paying for, including bras, breast forms, wigs, lymphedema care, mental health, and even fertility, may be covered by your health insurance plan. That there are hidden provisions in your insurance paperwork. And then we'll create an action plan for how you can figure out what's covered by your plans, how to ask for them, and then what to do as your next steps. All right. So, first up, the law is on your side. Before you find out about your products, let's talk about your rights. So, the law that most survivors have never heard of is the Women's Health and Cancer Right Act of 1998. That law included that reconstruction, symmetry surgery, prosthesis, and the complications of post-surgical experiences are covered by your health insurance plans. So that means if you decide to have reconstruction, which people often think of like implants or deep flap surgery, where you receive they call it like fat transfer, fats removed from one part of your body and implanted into your breast. Those things are covered by your insurance. Many women know that, but also symmetry surgery. So surgery to make you more symmetrical. Oftentimes your breast reduction, so having your breast, the remaining breast perhaps made smaller, can be covered by your health insurance plan to create a more balanced appearance and to balance the weight. Also, the prostheses are covered by your health insurance plans. So they're breast forms that go inside pockets of bras. And then the complications, so physical complications including lymphedema, the issues that exist after the surgery are covered for life. All right. I should note here, though, you may see down below, standard deductibles and co-insurances can still apply, but the coverage itself is not optional. It's still covered, okay, by law. So what does that mean in real life? So you're like, Jasmine, okay, it's covered, but who cares? How does that translate? So that means that there's no expiration date. Whether you've had your surgery 2 years ago, 2 weeks ago, 20 years ago, it doesn't matter. You're still eligible for post-mastectomy bras and breast forms and reconstruction. And it's not cosmetic. It's not a boob job. Oh my gosh, I hear that so much. It's not just for aesthetics. It's not just because it looks good. Reconstruction after a mastectomy is treated as medically necessary under the law. Okay. And then if anyone considers it cosmetic, if they try to act like it's cosmetic, this is your turn to, and your chance to push back on them and let them know it's not cosmetic, it's medically necessary. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a few moments. But then also, you can change your mind. So let's say you've decided to just have one breast removed, right? The cancerous breast, where the cancer is, you decide to just have that breast removed and keep the other one. And you decide to just go flat on that side. You can later decide to have reconstructive surgery on the right side, on the remaining side. You can decide to completely go flat. You can decide later to have reconstruction on both sides. You can decide to wear prostheses later. That is up to you, and that is your right. Deciding later is still covered by the same protections. Okay, and here is where I'm going to take a deep breath and make a caveat note. When I say that it's covered by health insurance plans, I do want to note that plans vary. Okay, so there will be different cadences in which these protections are allowed, and some church plans is what I typically see. I made a note for government, but mainly I see church plans will work differently. So verify your own policy. And I'll explain exactly how to do that in part 4. We're at part 1. So I'll explain how to do that in just a few moments. So here are some benefits you may already have. Post-mastectomy bras. So post-mastectomy bras are not the ones you see hanging up in department stores or lingerie stores, typically off the shelf. Post-mastectomy bras must have pockets. They're going to have built-in pockets that can hold a prosthesis. Similar to what you see when you go swimming and you have a swimsuit. It has a little divot inside that can like hold a little like a nipple protector. That's what you're going to see inside of a pocketed bra, and the bra must be pocketed for it to be covered by your health insurance plan. All right. The next thing is that the bra should be kind to your healing skin. So parts of the bra that rub on incision points should be very soft. All right. And then your bras are prescribed. So your doctor will prescribe bras to you, like write a prescription for your bras and breast forms for the rest of your life. Okay. And here at Myya, we accept the prescription. We issue out the prescribed bras, and then we keep your prescription on file. We can even let you know where you're eligible for more based on your prescription, so you don't have to deal with the headache of that. But we're happy to help you with that here at Myya. What we typically see, I made a note right here, is that women are eligible for 3 bras every 90 days, but your plan will vary. But that's what we typically see across the board. So that's 3 bras every quarter. I like to think of it as 3 bras every season. And it's really because your body changes. All right. For women who've had their breasts removed, these are medically necessary because oftentimes, what's the first thing you do when you have your breast removed? You begin to hunch over. And women who develop shoulder slump, back issues, back pain, I see a lot of balance issues, especially in my seniors. I see a lot of falling because your breasts have weight. Imagine if suddenly one side of you weighs 4 pounds less than the other side. You're going to have balance issues. Your center of gravity is going to be thrown off. I've seen knee pain issues. I've seen hip issues. All of this can be triggered by losing your breasts. So you're going to want to have a well-fitted bra and a well-fitted breast form inside of that bra. Okay. And your body changes as you go through medication, as your weight fluctuates, as you begin retaining water, there's just so many changes that you go through as a survivor that you need to make sure your bra is fitting very well and that your breast form is fitting well. Breast forms typically have a useful life of about 2 years. That's it. And then it's time for you to throw it away and get another one. It's just as important as having a functioning inhaler You must have a functioning bra and you must have a functioning prosthesis. Okay. All right. So, anywho, moving on. There's many different types of breast forms. I'm going to run through a few of them really quickly here. Full silicone forms are probably the ones that you're most used to. They're typically a bit triangular in shape. The ones that we have at Cherry Blossom and Myya are going to be like whipped silicone, so they're going to be lightweight. They're not the ones of, a decade ago where they feel really heavy and they're uncomfortable. These are actually going to be very light. They're going to be lightweight. They're easy to wear inside of the pocket, but they still have enough weight like the remaining breasts. Oftentimes I would hear women say, I don't want to wear my prosthesis. It was just too heavy. It was hurting me. I would recommend that you give the ones that we carry from Myya a try. Next up is partial forms and shapers. So if you've had a lumpectomy, your prostheses are still covered by your health insurance plans as well, especially you. You definitely need them. Someone asked me on the call earlier, what does that look like? Well, if you've had a lumpectomy, you receive a partial breast form. So it's a smaller piece of silicone and it will have a shape that better fits your body and the removed portion of your breast. So it may be oval, it may be a full overlay that's hollow. I've seen what we like to call like a chicken cutlet style, sort of similar to what you might have worn inside your prom dress or inside of a push-up bra. There's many different types depending on how much of the breast tissue was removed, but a certified mastectomy fitter would fit you in the breast form that is most appropriate for that removed breast or the removed portion of that breast to balance out the remaining breast. And then there are leisure and swim forms, which I adore. One of my favorite things to see for a swim form is splay. So when you lean back inside of a lounge chair at the beach, there are bead-filled swim forms that will recline with you and like naturally sort of roll out. It looks really pretty. So there are many different types of breast forms, okay? And you definitely want to make sure you're fit for the right breast form for the right occasion in your life. It is not a one size fits all choice. It's not a socks in your bra choice. It's not a knitted knockers choice. Those might be temporary, but please get fit by a certified mastectomy fitter. So that you have the proper foundation. Okay, next up is wigs. So don't ask your insurance provider about a wig. You want to ask them about a cranial prosthesis. And many health insurance plans will cover the cost of a cranial prosthesis if you've experienced chemotherapy. So I believe, a few slides down, I have the exact terminology that you want to include in your request when you're talking to your health insurance plan about cranial prosthesis. And they often set a dollar amount per year or over the course of your treatment for cranial prosthesis. I would recommend finding one that has human hair and one that looks the most natural to you. And you may want to keep the receipt because oftentimes places that issue cranial prosthesis do not have the ability to bill the health insurance on your behalf. So you'll have to keep the receipt, pay for it, keep the receipt, and then send that receipt off to your health insurance plan and wait to be reimbursed. Unfortunately, but at least being reimbursed with something might be better than nothing. Okay. All right. Moving forward, lymphedema care. So there was two forms of lymphedema care protections. One was the one that was included in the 1998 passage of the law. That one's less important now because it's been updated to the Lymphedema Treatment Act of 2024. So since January 1st of 2024, Medicare covers the cost of compression garments and supplies, including lymphedema sleeves. Oftentimes, when you have your lymph nodes removed, you're wondering, why is my arm swelling up? It's lymphedema. It might be lymphedema. So talk to your doctor, ask them, is it lymphedema? I also see patients who have swelling bellies and they think that, oh, maybe I'm just gaining weight. Or, well, maybe it's just that I don't have my breast and this is just the size of my belly. I've been seeing that it can be, not always, but it can be lymphedema. Talk to your doctor about lymphedema. and compression garments related to lymphedema camisoles, and sleeves that may help in minimizing the swelling. Okay, and if you're prescribed a sleeve, wear your sleeve. Please wear your sleeve. If you're prescribed your sleeve and you come to a bra fitting and you're not wearing your sleeve, I'm going to ask you why not. Okay. Anywho, you may have been told that compression isn't covered before 2024, which was not very long ago. If you were told that, go back and ask again. It is definitely time to ask for an update. All right, another thing that's very important is your mental health during your cancer journey. A lot of times women are just like, I'm sick of breast cancer. I don't want to talk about it. And they begin to bury it inside, and then that creates other issues. It's very important to have a therapeutic outlet. And many times now your insurance will cover the cost of that. I know Kaiser healthcare plan includes discounted talk therapy, but also hospitals often offer in their cancer care departments peer support. And then oftentimes there is nonprofit counseling on site in hospitals. If there's not one there for you, in the bottom corner, you can see Cancer Care, all one word, offers free sessions with oncology social workers. That's an organization that offers that as a resource. I would highly recommend looking into that. I typically see patients who have the best mindset, have the best physical outcomes. So I highly recommend that you look into those options as well. Don't overlook that as a resource, okay? All right, next up. This one I was actually surprised to hear about, but pleasantly surprised to hear about: fertility preservation. So ask before your treatment if you have not yet, because many states are mandated to cover the cost of egg, embryo, or sperm preservation before cancer treatments. So yes, you can call the number on the back of your health insurance card and say, do you cover fertility preservation? And then I'm going to mess that word up, but iatrogenic infertility. Okay. And you can just tell them, I'm planning to experience chemotherapy. I am a breast cancer. I've been diagnosed with breast cancer. What are my options for egg preservation? What are my options for infertility? Please walk me through what's covered and what's allowed. And then after they tell you, say, what else? Is there anything else? What haven't I asked for? Okay. And if you're not covered, which in many states you are now, I believe in the state of Maryland where we're located, you are. But if you're not, then please check out Livestrong Fertility because they offer discounted preservation services and medication. Okay. But that benefit is time sensitive. All right. And yes, you can be professionally fitted for post-mastectomy bras and breast forms from home through Myya. Take a screenshot here. I'm going to keep zooming along. But we offer post-mastectomy bra and breast form fittings from the comfort of home. Next up are hidden provisions. So there are critical illness coverages inside of your health insurance plans. So what I've noticed is that oftentimes we have health insurance booklets and they're mailed to our homes. And they are like this thick and they're black and white. And and who can get through all of that fine print? I know I can't. And what I would highly recommend is asking for a PDF version of your health insurance plans, your life insurance policies, and then uploading them, if you feel comfortable, into a system like Claude, a secured system like the paid version, secured system of Claude, or another form of AI that you trust, and allowing it to analyze and asking it questions back about your policies and your plans so that you can begin to make plans about it. That way you might be able to catch some things that you might not have by just reading it page by page and referencing page by page. But there's oftentimes money, okay, that may be able to be unlocked within these pages. So there's two that are especially important. One is disability income, short and long-term disability income through your employer, a private policy, or even through your state, which can replace part of your income that you have while you're not working, while you're undergoing treatment. And then waivers of the premium costs that you can have while you're going through this, but it can only happen if you invoke it, okay? So here's what you want to ask your insurer word for word. I'm a breast cancer survivor. You want to start it with that. I'm a breast cancer survivor, or I've been diagnosed with breast cancer. What does my plan cover for reconstructive surgery after mastectomy? And is there any time limit? What is my benefit for external breast prostheses and mastectomy bras? How many and how often? Do I have coverage for cranial prostheses due to chemotherapy or the breast cancer diagnosis? Does any policy I hold include a critical illness benefit, disability income, or waiver of premium? What documentation do you need from me? And can I get a reference number for this call? You always want to ask for that. Before you even pick up the phone, though, to call that number on the back of your health insurance card, you're going to want to ask for your diagnosis letter and your prescription. On Myya.com, if you click provider and then click referral, we have it all on like a 1-pager, 2-pager, where the doctor can choose your diagnosis and write you a prescription for post-mastectomy bras and breast forms on the same page. And then we'll handle your health insurance headache. We'll handle the headache of dealing with that. But it's really important that when you're working with the billing, that you have the letter and the prescription in your hand. And then if there are any specialist reports, make sure you have that as well, and any treatment records. Every single time you call, though, you make sure you get your representative's name, the reference number, and the date and time of your call, okay? And then be very much prepared to get a denial. My dad used to joke that an insurance company is always going to deny you one time. And I just like to kind of keep that as a standard metric. Just be prepared for them to deny you, and it's okay. If they deny you, don't quit. Write an appeal. Okay, these are our 4 steps to an appeal. If you don't mind, just go ahead and screen grab this as you prepare to file an appeal and push back on it. But just remember that you have rights, okay? And if you followed the guide from a few pages back, a few slides back, you made sure you got the representative's name and you found out what you were eligible for, and you only received those things, then they should be covered. So push back and make sure you're advocating for yourself. All right, so this is your benefits checklist. Most of them should already belong to you. I'm talking about for the major insurers, the Medicares, the CareFirst, the Kaisers. We see this every day, that patients are allowed these items. They're covered by the health insurance plan. It's really no question. So make sure that you're asking for them, okay? All right. So if this raised any questions about your own fit, your own experiences, then I would encourage you to go to Myya.com and do a free eligibility check. We can verify your benefits with your plan. We would happily do it. You can be fitted from home or in person on Myya.com. It would be our absolute pleasure. We do fittings at MedStar Washington Hospital Center, as well as Comprehensive Women's Health in Glendale, Maryland at this time, but we'll soon be expanding. We're very excited about that. And we handle all the billing in-house. So our billing team is fantastic. They are your advocates. They will work diligently to ensure that whatever you are eligible for, you receive, and that we work really hard to make sure that you're able to maximize your health insurance plan. And our fitters are very knowledgeable about the best items for you and the best fit for you, and the best style for you too, to make sure that you receive the best of the best, because we care about you. It costs nothing to ask. It costs nothing for us to serve you, and you're under no obligation. We'll simply tell you what your plan covers, okay, and what you're eligible for. All right. And then anywho, at this point during the call, we opened it up for a live Q&A. If you have any questions, you can ask us in the comments. Drop any questions you have in the comments, and I will answer them as best I can. But if you have any other questions separate from that, send us an email, care@myya.com. And otherwise, I will see you at a fitting and on our next episode of Covered. Talk to you later. Bye.